Welcome, everybody, to Simulation Talk 286. How are everybody doing? I mean, it's doing the weird thing again. You know what? Hold on, let me see something. People are probably so sick of me doing all these technical tests, but what can I do? This is the only time I know when it's live. Let's see. Just gonna look at my previous live and see what it looks like. Yesterday, let's play it real quick. Okay. Oh, just jump to it automatically. Actually jumped up. Okay. Okay. Weird. I wonder what that is. Well, in any case, we'll stay with this one for now. It is a bit. What's up, Cindy? What's up, Guru? Thank you so much, brother, for always taking care of it. Welcome, everybody, on TikTok, on YouTube, on X, on Twitch. If you do want to follow on Twitch, it'll be LaserX83 on Twitch. Come join us there. By the way, just a quick reminder, real quick. Today we also have the members live, and I'm going to remind this again, just because if you sign up for the membership program today, you will get access to it. Today we're going to be diving into some interesting stuff. I think some Deutsch, some Hoffman, some fun things. I think you guys would appreciate it. If at any point the Sony looks a little bit too weird on the shadows and the light, then you let me know. Thank you so much, Evil Icon. I appreciate you. Okay. Power Off is in the house. How are you? Let's start. Thank you, Guru. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for always being on top of it. Oh, Power Off. That's nice. I see your laser setup. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Right. Wanted to do this. We wanted to go to core events and set up a stage in case people want to join. Chris is already in the house. Chris, yesterday you joined and you said nothing. Please come on and please say some things, share some thoughts. That would be fun. Do I think Earth is a soul trap? No. I do not imagine such negative scenarios. What's up, Freemans? Cryptoverse. Good to have you, brother. It's funny that yesterday I was raving about Deutsch, even though I do talk about him quite often, but not that often. And then all of a sudden there was an episode with Brian Keating yesterday that came out with Deutsch, which I highly recommend. It's really nice. Let's see if we can. I'm going to prep everything for our live. Where are our lives? Oh, okay, yeah. That's not even How are everybody doing tonight? I don't know what RGX means, Freeman. Sorry, I'm terrible with acronyms. You're going to have to tell me. Also, it doesn't tell me who you are for some reason. It just tells me number 2. That's it. Oh, Benevolent Sky. Was that you also? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting. My people ask about the documentary as if it's nothing to make a movie. Do you know how hard it is to make a movie? I've always said it, and I'm saying it again now. It is the end of the year. The documentary is going to be ready by the end of the year. 3:18 p.m. Aloha time. Oh yeah, because I forget. Hawaii is kind of nice. I like Hawaii a lot. Where in Hawaii are you? Me neither, Cindy. I really don't like the fact that I'm looking down from the screen. Do you guys not care? It kind of bothers me. I don't know. Maybe it's just my craziness. So yeah, today I watched that Deutsch conversation, which I think we should analyze at least a small portion of it, and watched a little bit more of that Hoffman interview. I can't say that I see anything new in the Hoffman interview. There's a lot of words, but I don't know. I don't see a lot of new things. West Side, nice. No worries for what? Yeah, gonna drop in the end of the year. Gonna drop in the end of the year. I'm very excited about that. Duke. Oh, yeah, that's what we spoke about before. What is this? Okay. Cool. Oh, wait. Visamap. I think that's the that is the let's see if it plays something. I'm gonna show you all this stuff the second we jump on the live. I don't know what these things are, but it looks super cool. Whoa. That's amazing. Okay. Very excited to play with these things. Boop. Okay. How much I need by a vote here? How much do you guys like the trailer for? Oh, it's 47. Okay. How much do you guys like the trailer for the 0 to 1? Wait, why is it still showing? What? Oh, how much do you guys like the trailer for 0 to 1? Just because I'm actually going to thinking of making another version for the verticals for social, but I don't know if it's good enough, honestly. So you guys tell me if it's good enough. If it's good enough, I'll make another version for it. What's up, Guru? Okay, Cindy likes the trailer. All right, well, I guess we'll make it. Evil Icon, I'm talking about the trailer for the 0 to 1 show, not the movie. It's the last post that I made on YouTube. If you look at that one, so tell me if you like that one. What's up, Kevin? Good to have you, brother. So I'm excited to share. Take a while. Blah blah blah. Okay. So we can close this, I think. Yeah, I think we can close these. I'm really terrible at closing tabs, so I'm trying to teach myself to close tabs. I'm so bad at it. Truly the worst. I simply do not close tabs. Oh, wow, I forgot a big thing here. Let me do this. In the meanwhile, you guys can also think of a series of questions that you might want to talk about during our members live. Very excited about that one. Tick, tick, boom. Okay. Beautiful. Pretty. I like it. What's up, Joshua? Thank you so much, Guru, for sharing the trailer. 0 to 1 saying 2 1. Again, if you guys want to follow on Twitch, it will be LaserX83. Come and help our Twitch. Empty Trail said, I want to hear more about what you believe reality is. Well, I think reality is a computationally rendered world that has what we would call a spiritual component, which is the growth of every experiencer in that world. That's what I believe. Drives me nuts that I can't see my own eyes when I'm looking. Joshua did mushroom therapy last night. Do you want to tell us about it? And if you have more specific questions, that'd be great. Can be worse than I am. I have like 1 million tabs open. Yeah, no. I think I am worse. I have like 3 different browsers. Each one has like, I don't know, at least 100 open. No, one of them, that's not true. One of them is only 5. So great experience, very reflective. That's what I would expect. Was it in a clinical setting? Was it in a shamanic setting? What kind of... Do I think we have ultimately can have more control over reality than what we assume based on that? What is based on what specifically? The question is, do you think we ultimately can have more control over reality? Of course, but then what we assume based on that, based on what? Based on your belief of what reality is. So it's not a belief. It is an understanding according to everything else that we know. I think it's the closest to knowledge that we were going to have. So I don't think you can describe the world in any other way but in computational terms. Ultimately, at bottom, it's clearly operating by these rules. And of course, the clearer the map you have, the easier it is to navigate through the actual terrain. That's the definition of having proper knowledge, which I think today will be the theme of the podcast or of the live. That's cool, Joshua. Yesterday, my wife told me that you look a lot as me before I cut hair. Plus, Dan is half of my name. Nice. Also has 3 browsers with 100 tabs. Beautiful. I think we have medallions somewhere. Nothing much. Got ice cream tea. Nice. I like the descriptions. Feeling better today. What happened? Oh. Blindfolded with John Hopkins playlist. Beautiful. Is there a particular reason, Empty Trail, that the question, so like why, where's the question coming from? So for example, you're asking, like, do you assume that by somehow knowing something true about the world, you might not be able to navigate better through it? I feel like that's just a kind of like a universal property of existence. Like that's basically what, how, the relationship between knowledge and the world is. Didn't really have any visions. You mean you didn't have any visuals at all? And by the way, just reminding everybody that if anybody wants to come, especially if you disagree, by the way, but not necessarily, but if you disagree and you want to raise some points or you want to say some things, feel free to come on Discord and come on the chat, and we can have a little bit of a back and forth about it. That can be fun. About seeing the code of reality. You're saying that by seeing the code of reality, will we be able to control the world? Well, that's a separate question. I don't know. It depends on whether or not it's malleable. So now we can see the ball, so to speak. The question is, can we influence the ball? So that's the big question now. But that's a good question. To be honest, I've always been hyper interested in coming to the closest I can to objective truth. There you go. We're in the same boat or other vessel that you would prefer. Exactly. And I think somehow in modern times, it seems that a lot of people kind of gave up on this idea or kind of convinced themselves there is no objective truth or there is no truth that is not just what they perceive, which is kind of wild to me. I don't know what people had to go through civilizationally to start believing this, but we started believing this. Kind of strange. I tend not to get close-eye visuals. Yeah, so some people don't get a lot of them. That's true. That is true. The Dandelion King. How are you? Ewok. Thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate that. I always had a strong sense of the search of the deepest truth. Is there any unifying factor? Of course there is. Absolutely. There has to be. Otherwise, reality wouldn't be coherent. Whether we will ever know what it is, that's a separate question. Man, I wish the camera wouldn't be doing this weird thing with the black. So we'll see. We'll see how it looks after the recording. Christopher, how are you? Is saying, Dan, do you ever wonder why disinformation isn't more explosive to humanity? Why isn't this on Joe Rogan or mainstream news? You discovered code and reality, dude. Is the measure? I think it's a process. So first of all, Joe Rogan did mention it twice, so it was on Joe Rogan, at least in terms of talking about it. But I think there's many reasons for this. First of all, you have to substantiate this for the rest of humanity. Not every claim on the internet is automatically considered to be true. In fact, a lot of claims that are not true considered to be true, which is kind of funny. But I think it's just a matter of time before people get used to it becoming more a mainstream thing, and then it will absolutely become more part of the general human understanding of what things are and how they work and all that good stuff. I think it's just a matter of time, but we're not in a hurry. If it's true, it will remain true. When I say something like I don't believe in absolute truth, I mean like truth is relative to or subjective. It depends on the time and culture you're biased. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's just simply not true. Language is what creates your truth. I know. How are you, Turtle? Good to have you with us. Like math creates a truth, but it isn't absolute. So the claim isn't that we know absolute truth. The question is ultimate truth exist? And the truth is that that's not under negotiation. So the answer is yes, absolutely. And the reason for that is because what is meant by the ultimate truth is simply the state of affairs. In other words, whatever in fact is going on, including your perception of what's going on, is the truth. The question of whether you will ever have access to this ultimate truth is a separate question that can be addressed later. And the answer to that, of course, is most likely and probably, of course, we will never know the ultimate truth. But of course, it exists because it is simply the state of affairs. No matter what they are, no matter what the state of affairs are, that is the truth. So notice that that's not under negotiation. By the definition itself, it's what it is, right? What I think maybe, if I want to be charitable, what people resisting is that maybe what they feel that people mean by objective truth is that if they find something that they think is closer to objective truth, they get to use it as a trump card against other arguments. So what people want to say, they always want to nullify the argument and say, well, no, this is just your opinion, this is just your perception because of the culture or language you came from. But regardless of the culture or language you came from, your perception of the something does not preclude the something to be something. The fact is that something is going on regardless to your perception of it, and that something is the truth. So that's all that's being put on the table. And it's a very simple proposition, and it's an undebatable proposition. That's the funny part. But I actually think that the idea that started probably from there was a good thrust behind it. And I think the original thought was, when you talk about like postmodernism, things like this, was to basically inject some humility into humans and say, well, who are we to even suppose that we even have access to, like maybe there is no truth. But really, by doing so, you're essentially making yourself the most special, because you're saying, outside of my perception of it, it isn't anything. Because again, what is meant by ultimate truth isn't that you know it, is just the recognition that there's a state of affairs. It's very simple. And for some reason, this very simple point escapes people. And it gives rise to a lot of other bad ideas, which, by the way, notice that the proposition that everything is contextual or provisional is by itself a truth claim that people make that they don't even realize they're not justifying it at all. They're just kind of stating it. They're saying that's how it is. There is no truth. Yeah, but that is a truth claim. You're claiming that you know that there is no truth. The lack of truth in reality is a truth claim you made about reality. So the whole philosophy doesn't make any sense. A much more useful frame is to say, what can I establish with the limited tools that I have? And how can these tools help me come closer to what the real thing is, including my perception of it? So my perception of the thing is included in what the thing is, because the kind of thing that it is would appear differently to different points of perception if it was something else, right? The fact that it is that and not something else makes it appear, in addition to the difference in perception, there's also the thing that is being perceived. And the idea that nothing is being perceived is the one thing you don't get to make as a claim, simply because by its own definition, it is the one thing you know absolutely certainly, which is that something is going on. You're perceiving something. How it arises, notice how it arises, that's a separate question. The fact that you're perceiving it, whatever this is, either it's some kind of a illusion, whatever it is, the fact that something is happening is not under debate. It's the one thing you know for sure because you're experiencing it. You know this even more surely than the existence of the universe. So, yeah, it's not the kind of thing that somebody can say, no, I think there is no truth, but it doesn't matter what you think. What is meant by it is that there's just a state of affairs. And if you're saying there is no state of affairs, I don't even know what you're talking about. Awesome, Bill Lycon. Let me read some of your comments. I tend to think it is deceptive because of all the mystery that surrounds the truth, not to mention the negative nature of reality. I don't think reality has a negative nature at all. What's with the mystery? Why not be direct? And we suffer through it. These are deep questions, but I don't know if we'll be able to address them we'll do them in the members live. If you guys, we have a members live starting in 20 minutes. And if you guys join the membership program, you get access to that. We can talk about these things a lot more deeply. I'm not saying there is no truth. I agree with you. There is something there, but we can't understand it because we are human. That is also a claim that you're making about something you think is true, but you have no way of substantiating this. The truth is that people know more and more all the time. Being human does not preclude you from knowing more. In fact, you're the only thing that we know of in this corner of the universe that knows the most about things. So if anybody has the potential to know more, is actually humans. So I would just say that this statement is going against the evidence available currently. We're the kind of thing that can understand universal knowledge, understand things more than any other animal. And yes, there's nothing wrong with admitting that, simply because we interact with higher levels of emergent information. So yeah, no, I think that because we're human, that's exactly why we're going to know more and more. We're that kind of a thing. Oh, wow, Joshua, that's hardcore. Reality is the manifestation of will expressed through language. The expression of will through language is the nature of reality. Reality is inherently the art of our will. That's very poetic and beautiful, and it's a lot of what Terence McKenna used to say. But if you putting it on the table as a truth claim about reality as a whole, I would say you really, aside from some things that kind of feel good, there's really there's nothing that you said that has any evidence to support it. Even though I might even agree with you because it sounds good to me and I like it. But if I have to put my objective cap, yeah, this doesn't track. You don't know what the core reality is. You just said that humans can't know, and now you're making a claim about as a human about what you think is at the core of reality. Think about it for a second. If reality is coded, do you believe something or someone coded it? I know that someone coded it, yes. Our layer is definitely constructed, without a doubt. There's a lot of things that are very easy to demonstrate you don't control, not by your will or your power. And that needs to be taken into account. You have limited influence within the scope of the rules under which you're playing. But the rules, certain rules you're playing, i.e., the laws of physics, are currently, or maybe forever, not bendable. Walk through the wall just by wanting to do it. It's an easy one to demonstrate. Expanding on that, because we only have maybe another 5 or 10 minutes in this live, I won't be able to. But if you join the members live on YouTube on Dango Thoughts, I can get into that because we have the weekly live in which we get much deeper into these kind of topics. Yeah, or come back tomorrow because tomorrow probably going to be another one that is going to be a lot longer than today. And also, I spoke about it quite a bit, so I'm sure you can find lives in which I spoke about it quite a bit. Awesome, man. No, I'm talking about YouTube. So YouTube is where we're doing the members live. But I did talk about it quite a bit. About all the little reasons as to why I'm convinced about that. Nico, how are you, my brother? So good to see you. Guru's sister saw the code earlier today. She was amazed. We watched the video and tutorial a few times. Oh, that's amazing, Guru. Isn't it crazy? Will is the drive to act. So I'm saying your drive to act and to name is the expression. So I would say that will is not even in you and it's not even in reality itself. It's some kind of a wiggle outside of existence itself. Thank you so much for the likes, guys. I appreciate it. That is wild. What we gain is understanding. So one of the things I'm going to be talking about in the members live today is the the philosophy that David Deutsch brings to the picture about knowledge acquisition and what it is in the universe and the kind of thing we are and how that maps onto human understanding. Acquiring understanding is really the only thing we can ever do. But by acquiring knowledge and understanding, we acquire more of what's possible to do. What up? Fast Mama Jama. Your search for objective truth is your will. I think these are overly simplified statements. I mean, I appreciate the thrust behind your thought, but like, this is not it's not a one-liner. You know what I mean? Like, the truth behind it is a lot more complex than that. The will, I don't think exists in you. I think the will is just the will of the universe itself, expressing itself in any point in space. But part of that drive that happens, no matter where it happens from, there is this possibility to understand, to connect through an instance of understanding with what in fact is going on. And I think it is a lot more than people realize it is. That's where I'm coming from with this. Whoa, nicotine patch. I didn't say we have free will. I'm saying we don't have free will. That's exactly my point. But free will is something we're definitely not going to be getting into today, because I have maybe collectively over 100 hours talking about free will. So there's no way we're getting into it again. You can look at Members Live, I think number 20 or 21. We dive very deep into free will and that whole conundrum. That's what Nootropics for. Lucid dreaming. I was talking to Dan in my last stream. Crazy. All right. So yeah. So today, as I said, today is going to be a pretty quick one. We sliding into the members live in 14 minutes. So if you're not a member yet, come join the membership program so you can join. You can go to Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts on Dots. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube, and join the membership program, and we can join the chat in about 14 minutes there. If you want to follow me on other platforms, it'll be Danny Goller on Instagram and TikTok. It'll be Goller Danny on X, LaserX83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. Come join us now. Come join the membership program to join the weekly live. It also gives you early access to all my content. And if you join from the second membership up, you will get access to Zoom calls with me once a month. One is really coming up soon, I think in 2 or 3 days. So if you join that, but just make sure you email me, of course, whatever says on the instructions you get when you sign up. If you want to still donate to the film, you can do that. You can find the trailer on Dango Thoughts on YouTube, and you can find the GoFundMe page under the trailer. There's some fun perks in there, I promise. Thank you so much, Guru. I appreciate you. Come join our Discord community. We have a wonderful community of like-minded people who are coming and sharing the ideas around these subjects. You can find the link to our Discord group both in the chat right now. Thank you, Guru, and also on the main on my link tree on TikTok and on my main YouTube page. And come check out the website, codeofreality.com, in which we have all the details about the Lasers protocol, our merch, and all the good stuff. Today's a little quick. I appreciate all our moderators. Guru, appreciate you so much. Ebony and Chris, who haven't been with us in a second, but I know they're there, sending our love. And Jessica, thank you so much for being our moderators. Thank you so much, Lycon. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you so much also to the moderators on TikTok. I appreciate the people who are contributing. And then I appreciate the community. Thank you so much for coming, sharing, asking questions. Turtle, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the old and the new members. I really appreciate you guys. Aaron, how are you, brother? All right, so we're jumping off, and I'll see you in the members live in 12 minutes. Have a good night. See you tomorrow, and or in the members live if you join now the membership on YouTube. Peace and love. Ciao, everyone. See you in a moment if you're a member, and if not, I'll see you tomorrow.